proposed by the council to the defendant, who also filed an application seeking the court to dismiss the suit as it is an abuse of court process. Our correspondent Suchindu Jowo reports that the presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, after listening to counsel in the matter, struck out the suit's reasons that the application of the defense counsel does not seek justice for the life of the deceased that was cut short, but for people who are still living. Justice Omotosho further explained that the application of the defense counsel has breached the right of life of the deceased and refused to grant the application by the police counsel seeking to dismiss the case, on grounds that the police counsel filed his counter affidavit out of time. Speaking outside the courtroom, counsel to the Nigerian police and its officers, Sokari Egop, insisted that the suit is an abuse of court processes. Counsel to the wife of late Chinai Konado and his father, Princess Lawrence, declined to speak to the press after the court proceedings. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Offences Commission, ICPC, has called on Nigerians to monitor and report cases of abandoned projects in their communities. Chairman of ICPC, Professor Bolaji Owusanoye, made the call while speaking during a session with stakeholders in Port Harcourt. Represented by ICPC Commissioner in charge of Rivers and Bayelsa State, Alexander Chukwerazi, the ICPC chairman said the My Constituency, My Project campaign is aimed at holding public officers into account. Speaking earlier, Rivers State Director of the National Orientation Agency, Young Ayotamuno, emphasized the importance of community participation in the fight against corruption. Some of the stakeholders who spoke during the interactive session commended the ICPC for the program and appealed to the Commission to protect whistleblowers. Our correspondent reports that stakeholders comprising government officials, security agencies, NGOs, youth bodies, religious groups, and women organizations all participated in the program. The business community in Nigeria has continued to lament over the effect of the novel coronavirus on their businesses. Our correspondent Elfreda Alerachi, who visited some shops owned by dealers of mostly imported items in Port Harcourt, observed that some shops have run out of stock. Some dealers on car tires and kitchen utensils, as well as electronics, say their businesses appear to have crumbled since the outbreak of the coronavirus in China. The National Open University of Nigeria has announced the postponement of its 9th convocation ceremony slated for this Saturday at its headquarters in Jabi, Abuja, due to coronavirus. About 25,000 graduating students were expected to participate in the ceremony. NOUN's registrar, Felix Eduka, announced the postponement in a statement circulated to newsmen. The statement said the governing council and senate of the university jointly took the decision in view of the health dangers inherent in the gathering of a large number of people at this time. On the foreign scene, at least 37 patients thought to be suffering from COVID-19 have fled from a hospital in Afghanistan's western Herat province. According to the Health Ministry spokesperson Wahidullah Maya, the people in question were in isolation due to the virus. They escaped from the hospital with the help of their relatives after beating up hospital staffers. Maya also criticized the police for not doing anything to control the situation. Meanwhile, a spokesman for Herat Governor Fahad Jalani said a total of 38 people, the 37 mentioned earlier, and one virus-infected person escaped the hospital. However, authorities managed to return 7 of them back to the hospital while efforts are ongoing to bring the rest back. And that's the wrap of the news update at 3. Today's Sports Live comes up next. I am Wealth Wilson. Thank you for listening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
What a goal!
Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh, my
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots. The moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of Today Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
See wahala wahala day, 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 wahala day. As we dey enter, that's so some people just dey mental. Cause when they feel this instrumental, everybody to the center. Omo wahala day, wahala day. Them say P square, we done the yarn again. We just the boss, we done the rhyme again. From Nigeria, we done the play away. Omo wahala day, I dey see danger, wahala day.
All right, there is serious wahala as far as football is concerned globally. Not only at the global level, in Africa, there is wahala in football, wahala in Nigeria. The coronavirus is threatening to wipe away football from the surface of the earth, but I don't think that will happen. But the latest coming in is that the Euro 2020 has been postponed till 2021. No longer Euro 2020, now be Euro 2021. What a surprise. The Champions League will not resume until June. That's the latest. And of course, the MPFL is not even free of this one. We hear the matches will be played behind closed doors from March the 26th. We'll get confirmation of that one. But a few hours ago, the coronavirus also forced the postponement of the National Sports Festival. There is serious wahala in the land. Coronavirus threatening to wipe away sports and not just football entirely. Emeka Dennis, my name. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live, the Nigerian football edition of the show. Reaching you from the studios of a premium news, talk and sports radio station today, 95.1 FM, right here in Port Harcourt. The guys are here. Victor Oriahi is here for this one. Victor, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show. There is serious wahala. Coronavirus is around there. And the fear of corona, they say, is the beginning of sports these days.
Well, Emeka, good afternoon to you, really. I don't even know what to say. I mean, just checking the reports, and I just saw that one. The National Sports Festival has been postponed indefinitely. We don't know when it's going to take place again. I mean, after we've been waiting since 2018 for the sports festival, just how many days to go? And then we get that it has been postponed due to coronavirus concerns, and also the MPFL that they were considering taking strict measures. Well, it's sad times for sports generally, I tell you, because it just leaves me wondering, in coming days, would we have anything to talk about apart from coronavirus? We hope it doesn't get to that.
Coronavirus wants to take over sports. Of course, it's not sports. Wisdom Wobina, the Superman, is also here for this one. Superman, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Emeka. I mean, it wasn't unexpected, but, shutting down everything at once. We haven't heard rumors that the MPFL will be played behind closed doors. I don't know, but it's not good news at all. And as Victor pointed out, maybe we might just end up only talking about coronavirus, maybe from Europe to MPFL to Africa. DR Congo and the others have already actually stopped their leagues from playing.
A lot of African countries have shut down sports. Morocco, Tunisia, Ghana, South Africa, and what have you. In fact, the 2020 CHAN earlier scheduled to take place, in Cameroon has also been postponed. I mean, the fear of coronavirus. Dorcas Cookie is in the building. The Sports Diva, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, Emeka, this is really let's call it sad times for us here seated here in the studio, because after now we just take one bottle of beer and sit down somewhere without talking, just talking amongst ourselves, no longer on air.
They want to take away coronavirus wants to take away our jobs. God forbid, it will not happen.
For this past weeks, and then it's still mounting. But then again, welcome to the show. Good afternoon to you all.
All right, very good afternoon to you all out there. The show is about you guys. Today we have tidbits from the world of football. Coronavirus has also ensured some sincere trial at the Court of Arbitration for Sports will not take place as earlier scheduled. We have the latest coming from the NFF. The 12-man committee as nominated by the NFF has been inaugurated to investigate the death of Chineme Martins, who died just over a week ago while playing for his club and Nasarawa United. We have the latest from the league as well, match day 24 across various centers here in the country. We have the latest coming through, and we also have the news about the LMPFL, to be played behind closed doors because of the coronavirus. Of course, we'll be getting to hear from you guys at some point in the show. The show is very interactive. I want you to be part of the discussion. All you need to do is to send us messages via text and WhatsApp to 070-1933-9962. That's 070-1933-9962 for your text as well as your WhatsApp messages sent to that number. On Twitter, we are TodayFM951 at TodayFM951. That's the station's handle. You can equally tweet at us individually. My handle is at Emeka Dana. Superman is here. His handle is at wisdom_OB. And of course, Victor Oriahi, his handle is at Victor Oriahi. While the Sports Diva's handle is at Sports Diva 4. Okay? The phone lines will be opened in due time for you to have your say. Don't go anywhere. The show will be right back after this time out.
From January to December, more wahala day. So make you remember, say, now Papa God be the defender, we no retreat, we no surrender, make we tell them back to sender, more wahala day, them say peace where we don't.
All right, let's start the show this afternoon from this one coming in from the Nigeria Football Federation, where the NFF, talking about Nigeria Football Federation, President Amaju Pinnick earlier today inaugurated the ad hoc committee set up by the football governing body to investigate the death of Nasarawa United player Chineme Martins, charging the panel to come up with robust and sincere recommendations that will constitute the standard protocols for football organization in the country going forward. According to Pinnick, he said, and I quote, "I am happy at the caliber of people who make up the membership of this committee, and I have no doubt you will come up with the right protocols that must be adhered to before any football match takes place anywhere in Nigeria. This is the time to make difficult decisions, and I trust you to make them for us." Now, your job is a very serious one. You are free to tinker with the terms of reference and avail us the steps that will safeguard the future of our players in the areas of medical safety and security. We pray that the soul of Chineme Martins rest in peace, but we are pained by his death, and we must use it as a wake-up call to enforce compliance with the provisions of club licensing as well as the fresh medical and security protocols that this committee will draw up. That's the Pinnick speaking to the committee members earlier today. Pinnick and members of the committee, as well as NFF Executive Committee member Aisha Falode, who was present at the inauguration, observed a 1-minute silence in honor of the departed Chineme Martins, who slumped and died during a Nigeria Professional Football League match between his club, Nasarawa United, and Katsina United at the Lafia City Stadium on Sunday, 8th March 2020. That was just about 9 days ago. Now, chairman of the committee, Dr. Peter Singabele, who is a member of the CAF Committee on Sports Medicine, thanked the NFF president for the opportunity given the committee to take a very critical look at organization of football matches in Nigeria, pledging that with the experience, energy, assiduity, and sincerity of members, the committee will draw up recommendations that will ensure that such lapses as led to the unfortunate death of Chineme Martins never recur in the country's football. And after the inauguration, committee members paid a visit to the Samuel Ogbemedia Stadium, venue of this year's National Sports Festival, which has been postponed, to conduct checks on safety, security, and medical facilities and equipment. Guys, let's look at this before we go to Benin to hear from one of the committee members. As a matter of fact, our own China Cheru is the secretary of the committee. We're trying to connect with him, but Victor, they've been inaugurated, so it's all left for them now to swing into action. They have their terms of references and the NFF has said you are even free to tinker with the terms of reference. So you can even include other things, in the terms of reference, as it were. I don't know. What do you make of the development earlier today?
Well, first of all, I just got to say that we love panels in Nigeria.
Yeah, committees.
We love panels and committees. Whenever something happens, of course, we're really quick to set up a panel and set up a committee. We did talk about this sometime in the weekend, and I think that was Priya who stated that it's important that we as a country, we learn to not just set panels after. It won't be bad if we also set panels before.
Take proactive measures.
Proactive measures.
Rather than
not just
reactionary measures.
If go to the fire brigade approach where something has got to happen, but then it's a good development. Let's see what would arise from this. We did state that the last time an incident happened in the MPFL that resulted to the loss of life on the field of play, that was to an Oceans Boys player.
Emmanuel Ogoli. That was in 2010.
Another committee, a committee was set up in that 2010. Now,
with a similar terms of reference to,
what happened? Did it just last for 10 years, or what was the issue?
All right, we'll come to all that. But in the meantime, we are live in Benin City, Edo State, the capital of Edo State, and we have the secretary of the committee in question, the one and only China Ikwedeman Acheru, joins us on the phone. China, good afternoon to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good afternoon, Emeka.
How is Benin City this afternoon?
Well, it's hot as usual, but it's okay. It's cool. We are alive.
All right, China, your committee has been inaugurated by the NFF president earlier today, we are told, and you've been charged to go to duty. Terms of reference given to you guys, and what have you? From the release we got from Demola Lajuri, the NFF director of communication, they say you guys are even free to tinker with the with the terms of reference and make sure you come up with recommendations that will ensure that what happened in Lafia on the 8th of March doesn't repeat itself. I'm talking about the death of Chineme Martins, the National United defender who slumped and died on that fateful day.
Yes, Demola Lajuri said it was also there. The NFF president has told us that the terms of reference are there for us. We can add to it, we can remove from it, as long as it helps us do a good job. He has also told us that we should not be in a hurry to leave Benin. We should stay here as long as we think we should stay until we get the job done. Now, when we leave Benin, I think we're going to Lafia, we're going to Abuja, but we'll be meeting in about 45 minutes, and at that meeting we'll map out what exactly they're going to do, and that will determine how long we'll spend on this investigation, and we'll also determine where we'll go. But the president, he said something that struck me. He said, people, he also active on social media, like Emeka. So he said he has been reading, and the consensus from most Nigerians is that we always set up committees and nothing comes out of it. But he has told us that we should do a good job and submit our reports and leave it for the NFF. And he made a promise. He says 100% that it will be implemented. That we can say again, now so that they always talk.
Yes, even with all due respect to Amajupinik, the NFF, he has made several promises in the past that were eventually unfulfilled. So what is the guarantee that your recommendations this time will be fulfilled at the end of the day?
Again, in his own words, that you don't want to leave a trail of death under your watch. He says he was at the stadium in 1989 when Samuel Okoroji died. He was there with his uncle, Patrick Opomo. He says he's NFL president when Martin Chieme died. And he says if we do not sort out the health, safety, and security issues in our league, there will most likely be more deaths. Now, many people don't even know that a day after Martin Chieme died, another footballer died in Nasarawa State on Monday after that day. Many people do not know.
Maybe because he's not an MPFL player.
Yes, a player from Kepi United died in training. So you do not want to be NFL president and leave a trail of death for things that can be stopped, because of course there are primary measures which is actually ensuring that does not happen, and there are secondary measures which include when it happens, what is your response to it, equipment, training and all. So but our own is not, we are not bothered with if it will be implemented. Our brief is to
submit your report at the end of the day, yes.
And submit a report. So we'll now leave it for the NFF to implement whatever we have put down. But he has given the assurance that it will be implemented. But for us, is to do a good investigation.
All right. So when are you guys starting work? How long are you going to meet to ascertain or what you have before you? And of course, you said you also be visiting Lafia where the incident actually took place. So what will you be doing there when you go there?
Well, we have not even had our first meeting yet. But after the inauguration, we met briefly with the NFF president because they have to rush off to Asaba. Then we went to the stadium, the Samuel Ogomodia Stadium in Benin. Since we are there already, we inspected the facilities. In fact, we are just on the way to the stadium when we got the breaking news that the sports festival has been postponed. But we still took time to inspect the facilities, the medical facilities, the security facilities, dressing rooms, everything. We are quite impressed with what we saw. But at 4 o'clock, we'll meet. It's in that meeting that we'll decide where are we going? Why are we going to those places? What do we have to do? Do we work on with the terms of reference as it is, or do we subtract or add to it? So at 4 o'clock, we'll have our first official meeting and we'll be deliberating on all of that, Emeka.
China, wish you guys wonderful deliberations, and we hope you come out with recommendations that will ensure that what happened in Lafia, what happened in Yenagoa in 2010, I'm talking about the death of another player, Ocean Boys player, Emmanuel Ogoli, 10 years ago, doesn't repeat itself again in Nigeria because of the lapses from the medical team of the affected clubs, as it were. Thank you so much, China, for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right. China, actually right there, the secretary of the ad hoc committee set up to investigate the death of Chineme Martins. Guys, these guys, if you look at the caliber of people there, Manze Chebulem, Imo State FA chairman, and of course, former vice president of the NFF. We also have the likes of
Dr. Paul
Onyudo, Abayola, Laja Abayola, Tijani Babangida is there. China himself, Salihu Abubakar, the LMC chief operating officer. A lot of quality men, as it were, and just one lady there, Miss Kisu Remisu Lola, a journalist, as a matter of fact. But of course, we also have the Demolola jury as co-opted members, himself, Barrister Okeobi of the NFF legal department, and others, Ibrahim Musa Gusso as the co-opted members. So we're expecting them to do a good job, right?
Sure. Mecca, I would start with even the fact that he has selected some names I feel are capable to actually get it done. But the question is, if they bring up the results, what will be the approach of implementation? They say they want to find out some things so that it will not repeat
next time. They say the NFF president, Ahmad Jubinik, has guaranteed, he has assured them that whatever their recommendations are, that this time it will be implemented, unlike what we saw in the past. Because, 10 years ago, even our own Professor Ken Anugoje, who will try to even contact on the show this afternoon, was part of the committee set up by Aminu Megeri, when a similar incident happened in Yenagoa. Emmanuel Ogoli of Ocean Boys slumped and died, thereafter. And nothing happened there.
Emeka, do we actually need investigations to know what to do?
We already know what caused it. So what are we investigating?
What are we actually investigating? That's the questions I was asking myself when I first heard we called China here on Friday or so. What are we actually investigating? Don't we know the reasons for the output we got? We should actually change the input. So
maybe recommendations now. Maybe recommendations. Do like this, do like that, And that's Nigeria for you.
It's just politics. Let's be asking that we did something.
And
Someone said you can set up a committee in Nigeria to dissolve another committee.
It's so true, Emeka, but then it's one thing to release recommendations. I remember in the aviation industry, even here in the country, there's a body called the AIB, Accident Investigation Bureau. Now, they investigate aircraft accidents, and all they do is they release safety recommendations, which is now left for the NCAA, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, to enforce those recommendations. Most of the times, the AIB, they release recommendations, the NCAA they don't
implement.
Yeah. So it's more like what is the use of this body? Because it's one thing for them to release recommendations. It's another thing for the LMC to finally implement these recommendations. I mean, we are here on air every single day giving the LMC recommendations
free recommendations,
free of charge.
All right, we talked about Amadou Pinnick. Earlier this year, in January precisely, he said before the end of this month, you hear a big news. Doctors, you played that interview here about women football and sponsorship, coming to women football and all that. End of January. January has come and gone. February has gone. March is almost going. We haven't had any big news regarding the women football in the country. He also told us that discussions, there was a press release to that effect that they will get coaches employed, even raw contract extension and what have you. February has come and gone. We are in March. March is almost telling us goodbye. So that is it. So most times when the president says a word, you have to wait before you take it to the bank. It doesn't always happen that way. Let's move on the show. It's not an attack on this person, but come on, the facts are there. He usually says these things, and sometimes he doesn't do it. Let's move on the show that Samson Siasa will no longer appear before the Court of Arbitration for Sports CAS on March 19. That should have been in 2 days' time. That's Thursday, yes. Following the outbreak of coronavirus, a widespread global pandemic now. Now, the former Super Eagles coach has been banned by FIFA from all football-related activities on the grounds of bribery and match fixing in August 2019, but his lawyers did file an appeal to CAS. The appeal needed an estimated sum of 91 million naira for CAS to hear out Siasia, who led the Olympic silver winning coach soliciting for help from Nigerians. Siasia and FIFA, alongside their witnesses, were expected to be in Zurich for the hearing on Thursday. However, with the increasing spread of the coronavirus around the globe, that has been cancelled, and all hearings that cannot be done via live videos will now wait until May. Now, CAS will not host any in-person hearing before May 1st, 2020 at the earliest. Depending on the circumstances of each individual case, the arbitrators and parties are encouraged to conduct hearings by video conference or to cancel them. If such measures are not appropriate, the hearings must be postponed until May 2020 or later, depending on the evolution of the COVID-19 outbreak. The prohibition of in-person hearing may be extended. That's the statement from CAS right there. At least Samson Siasa will live to fight another day.
Yes, that's how I would say it's probably a blessing in disguise. One man's food is really another man's poison. And in the midst of all this, we don't know if he has finally been able to raise that money that he needs. So having this little extension, especially if he hasn't been able to raise it, I think it will be such a relief for him. And I mean, it just gives him a month plus to just see how he can do to probably just raise up the other finances, that if it's not yet complete.
It would have been complete by now, because the case was supposed to come up on Thursday originally before